My fellow Americans, I am Farley Malorrus, your president. Our world is in a crisis. It is my intention to attempt to restore the balance without any hesitation and with total commitment. It is my intention to fly to Moscow immediately and meet with President Vladimir Putin to defuse the NATO-Russian situation and promise to withdraw all NATO troops, tanks, and regiments from the Russian border, and accordingly so that Russia may also do the same immediately and defuse any thought or possibility of war between Russia and NATO, and in so doing signing a treaty with President Putin. I will issue an executive order disbanding Obamacare immediately, installing free health care for all Americans, no matter what their race, creed, color, religion, or class status. I will do an executive order to legalize marijuana federally, regulated with a 50% federal tax, wholesale and retail, taking it off the Drug Enforcement Agency's list of felonious drugs. I will initiate an executive order to legalize gambling in the United States with a 15% surcharge federally, a tax on all casino profits. I will initiate an executive order banning all genetically modified organisms in America unless the products are labeled with such organisms that are modified, what organisms, in the product as a clear label. I will initiate an executive order for equal wages for women, accordingly to how men are paid in similar position. I will grant immediate amnesty for all illegal aliens that have been living here in the United States from Mexico or any of the Latino countries south of the border and or Canada, giving them citizenship, social security numbers, and also for foreign aliens outside of Latin America, education leading to amnesty and certification of same. I will initiate an executive order banning all fracking in the United States of America. I will initiate an executive order revealing the truth about Roswell and any contact our government has had with any beings outside of this planet. I will initiate an executive order revealing truth about the Fukushima power plant and the leakage from Japan into the Pacific Ocean and how it has contaminated our food chain. This is very, very important. I will also initiate an executive order legalizing and regulating prostitution nationwide with a 50% federal tax added. I will initiate an executive order listing the true ingredients of all cigarettes on the label in bold sold in the United States, no matter what those ingredients may be, including pesticides used in the growth of same. I will also initiate a tax, a federal tax, on all cigarettes and alcohol of 50%. I will be initiating an executive order to abolish the federal income tax now that we will be getting funding for our government from other means. I will also request that our Defense Department cut spending by at least 50%. I will be doing an executive order to restore the gold standard and open up Fort Knox for regulation and inventory of America's gold, or wherever else we keep gold in our country. I will initiate an intense mission to eradicate radical Islamic forces in the Middle East and the world and exterminate those promoting same immediately or face the consequences. No longer will this be accepted, where innocent people will be killed, murdered, or blown up, ever again. And I will form a worldwide task force to do this. Okay? I will initiate an executive order preventing the slaughter of innocent dogs and cats in shelters and setting up adoption bureaus countrywide, hopefully one day worldwide, to avoid such slaughter of dogs and cats and other pets. An executive order releasing vehicle production on cars that run on water, light, air, and other alternate energy sources to fossil fuels. I will be initiating an executive order funding for the homeless in every major city in America, building shelters and setting up work projects for them, and also free health care included. Assistance and funding for education will be given nationwide to all schools at every level. Working with the nuclear powers in this planet, I will be working for immediate abolition of all nuclear weapons and destruction of same worldwide within 1 year, creating a trilateral board in Geneva, Switzerland. Should anyone attempt to use nuclear weapons for any reason, that their leaders who ordered such use and/or nations involved be judged accordingly by a trilateral system set up in Geneva, and that there be no mercy given to anyone to ever use nuclear weapons. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all people are created equal, and I intend to make it so. It will be a federal offense for racism, bigotry, or prejudice of any kind, including a life sentence if convicted and documented of same. So this is the end of racism, bigotry, and prejudice of any kind, whether it be by color, gender, gender choice, race, or religion. And I will also, and most importantly, initiate an executive order creating retroactive term limits for all people in Congress, maximum of 8 years, 2 terms. And in the same token, I will be abolishing all political parties, allowing any American to run for any office without petition, prerequisite, convention, or nomination by anything of corporate or political interest. And that should free up our country to give us some real leadership. My name is FARLEY MALORRUS, and although I am not yet your president, if I was your president, these are the things I would enact immediately, through executive order and through cooperation of Congress, especially after term limits retroactively are invoked. Thank you very much for listening and sharing my video and my thoughts. These are the things I think need to be done, because we have too long lived in the dark with a black market of trillions of dollars and not benefited off of that black market. Hence the reason why marijuana, prostitution, and gambling be legalized and taxed at 50%, and gambling be legalized and taxed at 15% on a federal level, and the abolition of income tax to give people money to live on. Thank you very much for listening. God bless you. I love you. And God bless America. And may truth, justice, and the American way be prevalent today, now, and in our future. Amen.